Hey, this video is going to be the comparison between the DT-770 and the Fostex TH-X00 and whether or not I think it's worth it to upgrade from the 770 to the TH-X00. I'm going to quickly go over the looks and the build of each of these and then we'll get into the sound. So, looks on the 770, they come stock black with silver pads, and honestly I don't like the black and silver look on them at all. It feels like they clash, but the limited edition version of the 770s does come with black pads, and I feel like it's a much better looking headphone. Additionally, look-wise with the 770, they have these textured cups, which I, looking online, thought I wouldn't like that much, but in person I really don't have an issue with them. As for looks on these TH-X00s, it's really hard to beat wood headphones for me. I absolutely love wooden products. So, like with the wood stand I made for the LCD2s, it's all wood. So, and my monitors also have a lot of wood on them. So it's just anything with wood, I love it. So I love the look of the Fostex TH-X00s. They're glossy. I like the Fostex logo. The EMU I don't think has the logo on their headphones, and I couldn't tell you which one I like more, but both of them look very clean. I really like the look of the Fostex. As for the build of both these headphones, they both are great in all areas except for the pivots. This is the case with both headphones. So on the TH-X00s, when you pivot it, it's only connected by one pin, and I've heard that they can snap. Personally, I've never had an issue with any of the pins on my TH-X00, but I heard that other people have, and it doesn't feel like particularly strong. With the 770s, the way it's designed is when you slide the slider up to make the headphones smaller, the bar goes into the headphones underneath the pad. So when you rotate it, it feels like it's catching on the pad, so it can feel a little bit clunky to rotate. It's definitely not as smooth as the TH-X00s is to rotate, but after you put it on your head, it's really not an issue. And I don't feel like it's going to break. It just feels worse to swivel on. The only other thing I really have to say about the build of these headphones, this also applies to both, is that neither of these headphones has a removable cable, which is a decently big downside, especially for the Fostex, because the cable they come with is like a jump rope. It's really thick and really heavy, and it's also really long. It's like 8 feet or something. The DT-770 is like 9 feet long, I think, and it's a lot thinner. So neither one of these is like great if you're going to go mobile with them. But luckily, the TH-X00 does have a newer model that released just like a couple months ago with removable cables for only $20 more. And I would recommend that over this, even if you don't plan on replacing the cable and use it at home, just as like insurance in case something breaks. Then it's just nice to have the option to have a removable cable, especially if you want a shorter one, if you want to take these on the road or something. But I have to say that if there was one cable that wasn't going to be damaged, it's probably the TH-X00s. It's thick, it's strong, it does not feel like it could get damaged easily at all. On to actual sound. So isolation wise, the DT-770s blow these away. When I bought the TH-X00s, I was looking for an isolating pair of headphones with powerful bass, and I figured that since these were closed back, they had to be somewhat isolating, and I had read a lot about their bass. But I hadn't read as much as I should have on the isolation, because these have poor isolation. If you need to block out roommates or co-workers, these are not the headphones for you. I was kind of disappointed with the amount of isolation that these had. I had other headphones that could do what these could do, but without the isolation as well, because they were open back. So when I bought these, I was looking for a really good pair of headphones with isolation, and these are not great for that. The 770s are great for that. They isolate very, very well, and I hear it's particularly well with these pads. But either way, these feel like a semi-open pair of headphones opposed to fully closed. And it might be less isolating for me because it couldn't get a full seal on my head because of my glasses, which are pretty thick. But in any case, these isolate a lot more. And while we're on talking about the pads, so comfort of both these headphones, I have to give it to the DT-770. For me personally, I don't feel like this will really be an issue with most people, but my frames are pretty thick on my glasses, and the pads on the TH-X00s are a little bit more stiff. So what that happens is they push my glass frames into my head, and it gets uncomfortable. The 770s with these pads are a lot more cushy, so my glasses sink into the pads and don't get pushed into my head as much. So I don't have the comfort issue. The clamp force on both these headphones isn't excessive, really, so even without the excessive clamp force on this, like, it couldn't work out in this. It still is a little bit uncomfortable for me with glasses. I think without glasses, it will be fine for pretty much anyone. The only issue for me is that I literally cannot see without my glasses, so I have to wear them, and it just doesn't work very well for me. One thing I'm going to mention as well is that I've never had any issues with either one of these headphones on the headband, but there's like no padding on the TH-X00s, and there is a solid amount of padding on the 770s. So if you have issues with the top of your head hurting with headphones, then the 770s have a lot more padding, and I would recommend those. But I personally have never had an issue with the top of my head hurting. It's only been my glasses being pushed into my head, which made the Fostex uncomfortable. The Fostex is also a lot more isolating than the DT-770. Excuse me. The Fostex is a lot more intimate than the 770s. They have a closer soundstage, so if you're looking for a closer soundstage, the TH-X00 is the way to go. And the DT-770s don't have an expansive soundstage by any means, but they are a little bit wider than the TH-X00s. So, onto the actual sound. I should mention that these are less than half the price of the Fostex. And the reason I'm making this video is to determine whether or not it'd be worth upgrading to the TH-X00s. And also I was requested this video by the person who I'm trading the TH-X00s for the 770s. And so, onto the sound. These are double the price of these, and it shows very clearly, especially in details. So, when I initially put these on, compared to these, I thought that the bass was somewhat similar, but after A/B testing, these are still by far the more powerful headphone for bass. The sub bass goes a lot deeper. It's a lot more immense, and it's just more powerful on this. But in addition to that, the mids on this are also pretty good, especially so because it's supposed to emphasize bass. The highs, not great on these, not great on these, but this has pretty good mids that are clear and crisp and nice, and these do not. It feels like everything's a little bit more muddy on the 770s, which is to be expected because they are half the price. Sonically, in every case, the TH-X00s are superior. The lows are better, the mids are better, and the highs are better. It's clearer. The 770s are just muddy in comparison. But I still love the 770s because these are double the price. I feel these are very good for the price, but there really just is no comparing. They don't beat the TH-X00s in anything. I think it would be worth an upgrade if you didn't have a comfort issue and you didn't care about isolation. If you care about isolation, which I do, because that's the reason I wanted a closed back pair of headphones, then I cannot recommend the TH-X00s because they do not have the isolation that I was looking for. I'll just tell you a little story about how much more detailed these are at picking up the smaller sounds. So I play Magic the Gathering Arena, and when I was listening to music while playing the game just to accustom my ears to the 770s, I'm constantly cursing over, my mouse is going over all of the cards, and there's supposed to be a sound there, which I didn't even pick up on with the 770s. And then with the same music, at the same volume, when I put on the TH-X00s a little bit later, you can pick up every single click as the card as you scroll over all of the cards, and it just immediately showed me how much more detailed these are over the 770s. Weird way to easily see it, but for me it worked very well. I really don't want to make it seem like I'm shitting over the 770s. I really do enjoy them a lot, and I think they're very good for the price. It's just really hard to beat a headphone that's more than double your price. And the fact that it has better isolation and it has better comfort for me are two places you really shouldn't have any superiority in when you're half the price. So it just speaks to how good the 770s are, even if they aren't as good sound quality wise. And I guess I'll give a little bit of explanation why, even though I would recommend upgrading to the TH-X00s for most people, I'm personally going to keep the 770s. So when I bought the TH-X00s, what I wanted was a headphone that had isolation, but also the sound quality was pretty good, okay? And when I got these, the sound quality was there, but the isolation wasn't. I had headphones, and I have headphones that do what these do, but better, and also lack the isolation. What I was looking for was something that did what my other headphones did, but also had isolation. And these don't give me that, so I'm gonna trade these for something that does give me the isolation I want, even if it's a downgrade. So I have the LCD2 that gives me the bass that these have, but better, which makes sense because the LCD2 are double the price of these. And then I have the Sennheiser 6XX for when I want to listen to vocals, which these aren't designed for vocals, so those do that better, and it's just, these don't fulfill something that I need to listen to, and so that's why I'm getting rid of them. And the 770s have the isolation that I want, so I'm keeping them. That's about it, really. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them and I'll try to respond. And thanks for watching.